World War I. In 1917, Siam declared war on German Empire and Austria-Hungary, mainly to gain favor with the British and the French. Siam's token participation in World War I secured it a seat at the Versailles Peace Conference, and Foreign Minister Deva Wong's used this opportunity to argue for the repeal of the 19th century unequal treaties and the restoration of full Siamese sovereignty. The United States obliged in 1920, while France and Britain followed in 1925. This victory gained the king some popularity, but it was soon undercut by discontent over other issues, such as his extravagance, which became more noticeable when a sharp post-war recession hit Siam in 1919. There was also the fact that the king had no son. He obviously preferred the company of men to women, a matter which of itself did not much concern Siamese opinion, but which did undermine the stability of the monarchy due to the absence of heirs. Thus, when Rama VI died suddenly in 1925, aged only 44, the monarchy was already in a weakened state. He was succeeded by his younger brother Prajadipok. By 1925 to 1926, Siamese extraterritorial rights were restored, a period of 5 years thereafter. Early years of constitutional monarchy, 1932 to 1945. Revolution and difficult compromise. A small circle from the rising bourgeoisie of former students, all of whom had completed their studies in Europe, mostly Paris, supported by some military men, seized power from the absolute monarchy on the 24th of June 1932 in an almost non-violent revolution. This was also called the Siamese Revolution. The group, which called themselves Khana Ratsadan or sponsors, gathered officers, intellectuals and bureaucrats, who represented the idea of the refusal of the absolute monarchy. The Khana Ratsadan installed a constitutional monarchy with Prajadipok as king at the top. The corresponding constitution was proclaimed on the 10th of December of the year. On the same day, the experienced and rather conservative lawyer Friar Manapakorn Nititada was appointed as first Siamese Prime Minister. By selecting a non-party head of government, the Khana Ratsadan wanted to avoid the suspicion that the coup had only been carried out in order to come to power itself. However, the overthrow of the monarchy did not lead to free elections, and political unions were forbidden. Bureaucracy and the military shared the power in the National Assembly. The constitution was annexed to the monarchist ideology, nation, religion, king as a fourth pillar. In the following period it became clear how heterogeneous the group of Khana Ratsadan was, and it fell into several rival wings, especially those of the high officers, the younger officers, and the civilians. From the liberal and civilian wing, Pridi Phanamayang sought a profound transformation of the country's social and economic system. To this end, he presented an economic plan in January 1933, which became known as a Yellow Cover Dossier Thai. Among other things, he proposed the nationalization of farmland, industrialization through public companies, universal healthcare, and pension insurance. The king, the rather conservative Prime Minister Friar Manapakorn, and the high-ranking officers in the Kana Ratsadan around Friar Songsuradit, and even Pridi's friend and co-worker Prayun Phamanmontri, opposed the plan. Fearing that Pridi's liberal wing, who had the majority in the National Assembly, would decide to take action, Friar Manapakorn dissolved the parliament in April, imposed an emergency, and rescinded the constitution, which had not yet been a year old. He imposed a law against communist activities, which was directed not so much against the almost insignificant Communist Party of Thailand, but rather against the alleged communist projects of Pridi. However, the younger officers of the Kana Ratsadan resisted and countered the actions of Friar Manapakorn in another coup d'etat only 1 year later, in June 1933, resulting in the appointment of Friar Phahan as Siam's second prime minister. Kana Ratsadan's rise. After the fall of Friar Manapakorn, Friar Phahan became the new prime minister. Pridi Phanumayang was expelled from the charge of communism, but his economic plan was largely ignored. Only a few of his ideas, such as the expansion of primary schools and industrialization with state enterprises, were gradually implemented. In 1933, Pridis founded the Thammasat University in Bangkok, which with its liberal self-image, has remained a symbol of freedom and democracy. At the same time, the nationalist group led by Phibun Songkhram strengthened in the People's Party, oriented to the totalitarian ideas of Italy, Germany, Japan, but also the Young Turks, Kemal Ataturk. The many unsettled constitutional roles of the Crown and the dissatisfaction with Kana Ratsadan, especially Pridi's post in the new government, culminated in October 1933 in a reactionary Boeradit rebellion staged by royalist factions. The royalists were led by Prince Boeradit, Prajadipok's Minister of Defense. His forces, who mobilized from provincial garrisons, captured the Don Mueang aerodrome and led Siam into small-scale civil war. After heavy fighting in the outskirts of Bangkok, the royalists were finally defeated and Prince Boeradit left for exile in French Indochina. After the Boeradit rebellion, and some other disagreements with Kana Ratsadan thereafter, King Prajadipok abdicated the throne and exiled himself. He was replaced as king by his 9-year-old nephew Prince Ananda Mahidol, King Rama VIII, who at that time was attending school in Lausanne, Switzerland. Plaek Phibun Songkhram's popularity increased from his role in leading anti-rebellion forces. During this time, Pridi played an important role in modernizing Thai public administration, completed Thai legal codes, created the local government system. Dictatorship of Phibun Songkhram. When Phibun Songkhram succeeded Friar Phahan as Prime Minister in September 1938, the military and civilian wings of Kana Ratsadan diverged even further, and military domination became more overt. Phibun Songkhram began moving the government towards militarism and totalitarianism, as well as building personality cult around himself. The defeat of France in the Battle of France was a catalyst for the Thai leadership to begin an attack on French Indochina. This began with smaller conflicts in 1940 and resulted in the Franco-Thai War in 1941. It suffered a heavy defeat in the Sea Battle of Ko Chang, but it dominated on land and in the air. The Empire of Japan, already the dominant power in the Southeast Asian region, took over the role of mediator. The negotiations ended the conflict with Thai territorial gains in the French colonies of Laos and Cambodia. By 1942, he had issued a series of cultural decrees, Rataniyom, or Thai cultural mandates, which reflected the desire for social modernization, but also an authoritarian and exaggerated nationalist spirit. First, in 1939, he changed the country's name of Siam to Thailand, Prathit Thai, Thai. This is based on the idea of a Thai race, a pan-Thai whose program is the integration of the Shan, the Lao and other Thai peoples, such as those in Vietnam, Burma and South China, into a great kingdom of Thailand, Thai. Other decrees urged the citizens to embrace Western-style modernization. World War II. After the Franco-Thai War ended, the Thai government declared neutrality. When the Japanese invaded Thailand on the 8th of December 1941, a few hours after the attack on Pearl Harbor, Japan demanded the right to move troops across Thailand to the Malayan frontier. Phaibun accepted Japanese demands after a brief resistance. The government improved relations with Japan by signing a military alliance in December 1941. Japanese armies used the country as a base for their invasions of Burma and Malaya. Hesitancy, however, gave way to enthusiasm after the Japanese rolled their way through Malaya in a bicycle blitzkrieg with surprisingly little resistance. The following month, Phaibun declared war on Britain and the United States. South Africa and New Zealand declared war on Thailand on the same day. Australia followed soon after. All who opposed the Japanese alliance were sacked from his government. Priti Phanamayan was appointed acting regent for the absent King Ananda Mahidol, while Direk Joynama, the prominent foreign minister, who had advocated continued resistance against the Japanese, was later sent to Tokyo as an ambassador. The United States considered Thailand to be a puppet of Japan and refused to declare war. When the Allies were victorious, the United States blocked British efforts to impose a punitive peace. The Thais and Japanese agreed that Shan State and Kaya State were to be under Thai control. On the 10th of May 1942, the Thai Phayup Army entered Burma's eastern Shan State. The Thai Burma Area Army entered Kaya State and some parts of central Burma. 3 Thai infantry and 1 cavalry division, spearheaded by armored reconnaissance groups and supported by the Air Force, engaged the retreating Chinese 93rd Division. Kengtung, the main objective, was captured on the 27th of May. Renewed offensives in June and November saw the Chinese retreat into Yunnan. The area containing the Shan states and Kaya State was annexed by Thailand in 1942. They would be ceded back to Burma in 1945. The Seri Thai, Free Thai movement, was an underground resistance movement against Japan founded by Seni Pramoj, the Thai ambassador in Washington. Led from within Thailand from the office of the Regent Pridi, it operated freely, often with support from members of the royal family such as Prince Chula Chakrabongs and members of the government. As Japan neared defeat, and the underground anti-Japanese resistance Seri Thai steadily grew in strength, the National Assembly forced out Phai-bun. His 6-year reign as the military commander-in-chief was at an end. His resignation was partly forced by his two grandiose plans gone awry. One was to relocate the capital from Bangkok to a remote site in the jungle near Phetchabun in north-central Thailand. The other was to build a Buddhist city near Saraburi. Announced at a time of severe economic difficulty, these ideas turned many government officers against him. At war's end, Phai-bun was put on trial at Allied insistence on charges of having committed war crimes, mainly that of collaborating with the Axis powers. However, he was acquitted amid intense public pressure. Public opinion was still favorable to Phai-bun, as he was thought to have done his best to